Yo, what is up everybody? I am 12G's Gaming. As you may or may not already know, my name is Smith. And today, just like last week, we're back at it again with some more painting. Now, I actually, discovered something kind of interesting about the thumbnails, a little bit ago. It turns out that they're too big for for YouTube to actually count as a thumbnail, so I had to quickly scale that down so you could see the actual painting with Donald this time. But with that note, as the title says in this video, Digital Painting 101, or I should say stream, because I tend to do it in a stream format. Today I'm going to teach you some little tips and tricks to help you, or at least hopefully help you, improve in your digital painting experience, and maybe you'll pick up a thing or two that you didn't know in the process. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy. So, I already got my canvas all set up right here and everything. Now, let me just tell you right now, you can literally do just about anything with any digital painting software that's out there. I mean, you can even do it with MNS Paint, I believe is what it's called. It's the default picture editing software that exists. But today I'm going to try to teach you how you can take a sphere, for example. I'm going to show you how to take a sphere, and I'm going to show you how to make it look metallic and like a light is shining on it. And I'm also going to show you how to make realistic looking mountains. Now, if you're new to this channel, I don't just do painting, I do gaming and other little things here and there, but painting has seemingly been what has surrounded this channel right now. And like the title says, I'm going to be trying to teach you a little bit today. And for those of you that do know me, you know that I do a lot of painting on this channel. And I do show a lot of what I do. But today I'm going to show you just some little tips and tricks, like I said earlier, to hopefully help you in your painting experience. So if you have a drink, and you got your digital software up and running, or maybe you got, in the words of Bob Ross, pull up your old easy chair. Or pull up, I guess you could say pull out your paints or pull up your easy chair. I think that's what he said. Pull up your paint, pull out your paints or pull up your easy chair. And let's have some fun. So, to make things simple, I'm going to show you how to make a sphere. But that's not going to be the thing I'll start out with. First, I would like to say, I hope everyone enjoyed their Christmas. I most certainly did. And oh, that also reminds me, my grandfather's birthday's coming up, so if you're watching this, happy birthday. Anyway, so let's start out by actually describing a little bit of the softwares themselves. Like I said, you can do this stuff with MS Paint or MNS Paint or something like that. As long as you have something that has a paintbrush tool on it, you can do this. You don't have to have the airbrush like I do. You don't even have to have a pencil brush like I do. You just at least need the brush tool. But all these other tools do help. Now, in our case, what we're going to want to do is when we look into softwares, we want to see what we can get for what price we're paying. In this sense, we'll take GIMP as the example. GIMP gives me 3 paintbrush tools, a bucket tool, a smudge tool, an erasing tool, some sizing and shapings, cutting tools, selection tools, and an eraser tool for painting and doing any other types of photo edits. There's even a gradient tool as well, and a few others that I actually don't use, but it's not just because I don't know them, it's because I actually don't need them. So, when you open up GIMP for the first time, these windows are going to be stuck to your screen. I tend to pull them off to the side, like this, and then make it to where the canvas is all I see. But whenever I do the recordings and stuff, or streams, what I'll do is I'll put everything on the monitor at one time, so you can see what I'm doing along with me at home, or on the road on your phone. But let me discuss a little bit about these windows. Like I said, when you first open GIMP, it's going to be stuck to it. You can just pull them off, just by simply grabbing the top and moving them. And if you ever accidentally X one of these off, go to Windows, and you should be able to click on this, like recently closed tabs or something will pop up. So, let's start out with our left window over here. Move this over here. You have your informational stuff down here at the bottom. So let's take our airbrush tool, for example. Now if I needed to, I could literally take the tools tab and move it out and then have it right here, but I don't need to do that, and all I have to do is just simply drag it back. So all you need to really know is the fuzzy select tool, the pencil, the brush or paintbrush, and the airbrush. These are the tools that you really need to know in order to make at least some minor stuff. But it also helps if you know your smudge tool, because this is what helps make mountains. That's really all you need to know when it comes to painting with this. You need to know your fuzzy select tool, you need to know your pencil, your paintbrush, your airbrush, and your smudge. You can use stuff like your syringe tool to pick up color and move it if you really need to. But anyway, and now we have our layers. This is where we can duplicate and edit layers that are on top of each other. This is more for photo editing, but in some cases you can use this for painting too. Like, let's take a space picture. You do the planet, you make that a overlayable image, and you overlay it on this. It'll make sure that you will never accidentally paint on that planet. Also, knowing your color gradient box, this is really helpful too. Now, I have select paints that I usually go with, but something I recommend is if I click on these, you'll see you have these numbers right here. Each one has a different set of numbers. What I recommend doing is getting a notepad, a word pad, or even a pen and paper, and writing these down exactly as you see it with the numbers and uppercase or lowercase letters. Because these are the exact digits you need to get specific colors. And I have actually a palette notepad off to the side that I use to keep these if I ever lose them. Because if I change the color and hit OK, it will save it to this and it will push others down. And from what I understand, you can't go like further than just these 12. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select white, select the fuzzy select tool, select the whole image, go to edit, and hit fill with FG. Gives me a white canvas. So I'm going to put my color gradient box over to the side for a second. Now we're going to start with the shading, on how you shade. So we're going to go to our pencil tool, and we're going to go to the informational tab. Now the informational tab is actually a very useful tool. You'll notice these things right here called modes, opacities, and brushes, size, aspect ratios and angles, and a few other bits and pieces. I tend to only go down to size. All I ever mess with is size, brush, sometimes opacity, and mode. So in this case, since we're using the pencil tool, which makes an extremely solid color, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my size to 300, just for this example. Okay, make sure that it is actually a black color. Okay. And you do not have to hit OK in order to make sure a color is selected. So we have black. So this is what the pencil does. that's what the brush does. And that's what the airbrush does. It's very faint. The airbrush allows you to actually add layers onto your image. The paintbrush tool, it gives a solid line, but it gets fuzzy on the outside and gets transparent. And the pencil tool does a solid mark all the way around. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our little planet, if you're following along with me at home, is we're going to make this planet 1000 on the brush. That's the default largest it can go, but it can go larger if you want. I'm just going to put it, as Bob Ross would say, it's time to make a big decision, because we're actually going to make a picture out of this. Let's put it, you kind of have to plan it a little bit. Let's put our planet right here. Now then, you want to plan where little celestial objects are going to go in your space image or whatever. But you want to make sure it's a white background with black coloring, or mostly just an extremely solid color that's going to stand out from the background enough for you to take this fuzzy select tool and actually select it. Because if it's too close to the shading on the rest of the image, it will select that shading outside of that circle you put. So you want to make sure that the circle you made is actually its own thing. Okay, I'm gonna make a little light source now. Let's make it size 100. No. Let's put it size 300 maybe. Yeah, there we go. And I'm just gonna stick it right up here in the corner. This will be our sun. And let's put one more planet in here. We'll make a size 500. We'll stick it right here. And right here is where our name sphere will go. I'm going to show you how to make a metallic sphere with that sphere right there. So, how do I make how do I turn this just dots with a white background into an actual picture? Let's start with our biggest planet. Take our fuzzy select tool, and we select that. When it has that warble-like line around it, that means only this part of the image is selected. So if I grab the pencil tool and just make it white, you can also see what color I do right there. Or no, actually let's make it red so that way you can see. If I go all the way over here and hold left click, it will only draw on the circle. But if that circle was not selected, it would go over the whole image. So that's why using that fuzzy select tool and making sure that this is not too bright with that white background is actually important. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a very dark red. Almost burgundy in color. I'm going to right click, hit it, edit and FG. There we go. Okay. Now then, I'm going to take the pencil tool, and I'm going to make this brush about size 100, and I'm going to get a really dark purple I have, and I'm just going to go over this a few times, but that brush size is still too big, so let's make it about size 50, and you can make it go in whichever way you want. I mean, literally, make it random. People are like, how on earth are you able to do this stuff? It's actually pretty simple. I mean, you can, like I said, you can go in literally every which way. But to make it simple, let's just do this. You know, sort of the same line shape. Okay. There we go. Let's take a brighter purple I have and do the same thing. Okay, that's good enough. Take a brighter one I have, and let's take some of this baby pink I have. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the white, and I'm gonna do that right there. But as long as that is still selected, even though it's white on white, as long as that's still selected, it's fine. Okay, this is how we do a little shading. Take that right there. Okay, now I'm going to take the pink again, Just kind of go over it a little bit. Back to the purple. Well, actually, let's do that a little later. Okay. We're just going to keep it like this without the white and everything. We're going to go to our airbrush right here. We're going to make sure it's on the default brush. Now we're going to need to make our brush a bit big. And I'm just going to go over it like this. Okay, and now with the black, I'm going to go down here. Technically, you could stop there, but this is where it actually gets a little interesting. So we want this to be our sun. So I'm going to go back to the white. Now I'm going to go like this with it. And the more white I put on certain spots, the brighter it will be in that little area. And the more black I put on it, the darker it'll be. The more concentrated, or the more wide it is, the more transparent it'll be, but the more closer together it is, the more concentrated it'll look. So I'm going to go to overlay mode by just simply clicking the drop down arrow, or you can click anywhere right here as long as it's in this box, and we're going to go down to an overlay tool. We're going to make our brush size about 300 to 500. That's too big for this, so I'm going to make it about 300. And I'm going to expand the image. Okay, so we want to make it look like the sun is actually going this way. Because if we make it look like it's just going on this planet, it's not going to look quite right for this. So we want to make it look like it's going this way instead of going this way or that way. So using an overlay of white and going over it like this, and actually going over it in more concentrated areas, actually grows the intensity a little bit. Okay. Now for the black. Okay, I'm actually going to put some black back into that because that's too bright. So back with the black right here. You just simply, you gotta kind of like make a banana-ish shape out of it. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the white, go back over this a little bit because that got a bit too dark. Different intensities. Back with the black. Now, unfortunately, I will not be able to really do anything with that blue right there. Okay. Take the white back to it right there. Because of how the lines go, it's a little funky, but it's fine. Take that black back to there. Okay, about like that. Grab our white again. Oh, it's still black. Go back to our white. Going back over it like this. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue with the place select tool and see how it's really white right here. If you ever come to something like this, go to, you want to find something called invert. There it is. And now if I go and take the red color again, now it does only the background but not the rest of it. So here's what I'm going to do to save this from a big old hiccup. I'm going to make the brush size 15. Going to select the paintbrush tool, find the center of the planet, about like this. Just kind of about like that. There we go. And now when I go to select outside of it, it does this. I'm gonna find the center. I'm just gonna hold it. Might have to do it a few times. Ah, dang it. Okay. Let me see. Fuzzy select. Yeah, see, it does it in like rings. There we go. So if I really wanted to, I can do something like that. Make like a ring around it or something. But that's mostly just so that way it will not select too much of it. So we're gonna go to another little planet over here. Let's make this one deep purple. Same process as before. This time we're gonna take our brush tool. Gonna do the red. We're gonna make the lines in this one a lot smaller. So we want to make it about size 30. This one we're actually just gonna literally go every which way. Okay, let's choose another color to kind of overlap it a bit. How about some deeper blue? And get a little bit of that pink in there. It's weird combos, but it works in the end. Okay. Go back to our overlay. And by the way, depending on which tool you use, if you don't change the mode back, it will remain that way until you close the program. Okay. Size 300. Making sure it's still an overlay. And now, since I actually know how to do this from this angle, I'm going to continue with that black and go around it like this with it. See, now the light's actually coming in from this angle. It's more directly head on to it. So more concentrated right there. Okay, now let's select the white. Go back over here. Gotta make it towards the center. Make it to where it's more brighter over here. Or it's just brighter. There we go. Okay. Kind of go over the whole image a little bit with it. And then just one last time with that white. And back over it with a little bit of black. Okay. Gonna go over here to our sun. I'm actually going to use the paintbrush tool with a yellow I have. Find the center. Make sure you know your key bindings. P for paintbrush. A for airbrush. Just like that. You'll eventually start to see the rings on it. And now with that overlay mode still on there, I'm going to go back to the black. And I'm going to just do this with it. Grab the white, go around the edges. This is very, very basic stuff, but it'll work in the long run for sure. Okay, I want to actually push that color out. Make it expanded. There we go. More towards the outside. Back to the yellow. Add a little bit more yellow in there. Okay, so we just kind of have this yellow sphere. Let's go to the black and make the size of the brush very small. And now we're just going to go, this is how you make an interesting looking sun. With the airbrush tool in overlay mode, go around it and just rapidly click the left mouse button. And you'll eventually see the yellow under it start to show up more. I mean, you're going to be sitting here for a few minutes, but it'll be worth it in the end. As you can see, the inner yellow, like the whitish part of it, is beginning to not become as symmetrical anymore. Okay, let's take that paintbrush and we'll actually add more color to it. This is just to help kind of speed it up a bit. Grab that yellow again. Grab the black. Okay. Cover it with a little bit of the yellow again. There we go, that's what I was looking for. I made it too white by accident. Okay, grab the black again. Okay, there we go. It's very, very basic. Very, very basic. There we go. We got a sun and we got a couple of planets. So far, this is the best looking planet in my opinion. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna select this right here. See, it selected that part of it. So, we have this right here. Here is one way we can do this. If you ever run into problems like this, take your cutout tools, the circle one in this instance, and cut out the area around each of these images. And then you can overlay it on something. But you're actually about to see something that I have not tried in a long, long time. Okay, let me... Let me do this. See, this is where it can come into painting. We're going to duplicate the image. I'm going to go to these, and I'm going to actually go over each of them with that circle select tool. And since they are just perfect circles, it'll fit right over it just fine. Okay. So I want to now go to invert. There we go. Make sure the layer of this image is known on transparency right here. Go to layer, transparency, alpha channel. And then delete it. Okay. We're going to duplicate the same image now. And we're going to go over here to this planet. And that black there was mostly just so that way this wouldn't happen. So now that I am now doing this, which is a much harder method to do, but it is a troubleshooting tip I give anyone if this ever happens to them. Just simply cut out the image. It'll work in the end for you. You don't want to fight it, you want to work with it. Okay. Select, invert. Making sure that this one has the transparency on it. Oh shoot. Okay. Make that one invisible. Gonna go back over here to this planet. I'm gonna cut this one out. Not exactly the best 101 video, I will admit that, but it works in the end because it will get the thing I'm trying to say across. Okay, so select, invert. There we go. Make that one invisible. I'm going to duplicate this image one more time. Now I'm going to grab the sun. Going to go to invert. There we go. Now then, I have all of these images. Going to take the fuzzy select tool. Making sure all of this selected. Delete that. Go to this one. Make sure all of that in the background is selected. Oh dang it, I can't. Hold on. Layer, transparency. Okay. Last but not least. Wait a minute, if I... Ah, yeah, because it was too bright. Well, that's fine. There's still a way we can do this. Okay, go to this one. Image, transparency, alpha channel. Delete. And now what I can do is probably go to each of these. Okay, if I did... Ah, no, it did the wrong thing again. Ah, goodness. Image. No, layer. Transparency. Alpha. This is what happens when it's live. Even though I planned it, I didn't entirely plan it. Okay, so we have like these broken planets. What can we do with that? What can we do with that? Here's what we can do with it. Make the image a little smaller. Airbrush tool. Make sure it's on normal. 500. And obviously at home you can do this as long as you want. And I'm just going to start overlaying all of this stuff with these things. Putting in all of these colors. Let's add some purple on in there. Every which way. And to make this a little easier to see, I'm going to just take out all the planets right quick. Oh wow, would you look at that? It actually shows it behind it. Oh, I never removed the sun. You know what? I think I know why. Select the whole image. And go back over it. Yeah, there we go. Now it's selecting the whole thing. I'm going to turn all the planets invisible. Airbrush. Wanting to fill up the whole thing with darker colors. Every which way. Just do it every which way. I have to be kind of fast because I am kind of on a time crunch here. Go back to the brighter purple. Take a little black, put it in there. Trust me when I say do it every which way. Do the darker purple again. Okay, back with that purple. You want to make sure that that black is in the background showing. Now if I turn on all these planets again, yep, okay. I'm going to put it on overlay mode now. I'm going to take black and I'm going to overlay this a lot with black. I'm only going to do it one time right now. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some green. I'm going to put it around certain locations. Gonna take a little red, put it over some of it. Gonna take some yellow and put that in here. I'm gonna put the brighter colors around where the actual light source would be and where it would be touching it. So like our sun's up in here, put that yellow in here, make it really bright behind it. Just kind of bright. Here, take our white and put that on top of it. Take our white and put this right here, just like that. Same thing with this. Just kind of like that. Take the black, go behind it. Okay. I'm gonna just overlay this right here. Okay, there we go. That right there is enough. Okay. Take a little bit of this. We're gonna try, let me check out the smudge tool for a second. See, there's what the smudge tool does. Does all these little things right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the smudge tool. Ah, no, I didn't mean to do that. Crud. Well, you know what? Let's see what we can do here. Okay, same thing with this planet up here. Just take the very edge. There we go. Go back down here to this one. Just drag it. The only downside with using the smudge tool like this, which by the way the smudge tool just pulls paint, but at the same time makes it a lot more smudged, so you have to be kind of careful when you use it. Okay, there we go. Got ourselves a black sun sucking up everything. Go back to the overlay tool. Just kind of gonna go over it. Go back to this one. Same thing, just kind of go over it. Gonna take some red now. Go over this whole thing. Same thing with this. Take that red, kind of go over the very tips of it. A little bit over here. Back with this up here. Grab a little bit of purple, put it on there. Okay, there we go. Now some white down here at the core and up towards here. Same thing over here. This is not how it was supposed to go, but yet it's kind of working out. Take that sun, make it really bright over here for it. Okay, take that background, use the white again. And now we're going to make this special, or at least try to make it special. Okay, so I'm going to take this white and I'm going to go over this several times. Okay, I'm going to kind of go around here where it's supposed to be brighter. Trust me when I say putting this extra bit of color on here, it will help in the long run. If you notice, as the color begins to get too bright, it begins to have these different little layers that show up. Go to about this size right here. As you can see, as I make it brighter, it shows these different gradient levels. You can see it's showing it right there. That's what we want. Okay, make it really, really bright back here. Okay. And since the planets are on a different overlayable image, you can do that with it. Okay, right here, just kind of make it a little brighter. Same thing with this, make it a little brighter. Go back up to this, make that itself brighter. Go over here to this, make it a little brighter right in there. Now if I were to take all this off, it would look like that. Okay, just back over it with the white. Okay, in certain areas I'm going to want it to be kind of darker. It's going to look very pink for a few minutes. Okay. There we go. There's that gradient I was talking about. Yeah, you can really see it now. Normally it doesn't take this long to do this stuff, but because I am trying to kind of like teach people how to do it and actually going really slow with the parts I can't really describe that well, it is gonna be a little hard to do it all. Okay, I'm gonna go and get that purple and I'm gonna start adding the color back in, but with a normal overlay, because it is actually getting a bit too much, like too bright. Go back in with the black. Add some brighter blue in there. There we go. Go back in there with the white. Overlay mode with some red. Dang it. Okay. No, let's actually keep that out. Back with the white. Every time you add on new color, you have to go back over it and do this. There we go. I kind of like that. It honestly reminds me a lot of the... I forget what it was called. It was the colors that Nerf went with for their female line of toys back in the day. Okay. There we go. Kind of go over here with it. Take the black out to it again. Now the darker you get it, the less this really splotchy colors will show. The less of that will show. Okay, grab that purple again, just kind of go in the background with it. Grab a really bright blue, put that in here. Grab some red. Man, it's just really pink. I'm in that situation where I can't get it any less pink. Okay, so take the white back to the background again. Well, you know what? Since it is just mostly going to be pink, let's roll with it. Okay, so it's kind of getting there now. Almost there. Yeah, some of the red is showing where it should have. Yeah, see how the blues and reds are showing? It's not just all pink. That's what I was trying to get. Doesn't always work like that, though. There we go. Really bright, colorful. Now, I'm not going to keep this. Well, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, it doesn't look too bad. So I think I will. Export it to this right here. We'll just number it for now. But yep, there it is right there. That's how you make the little planets and shadings and stuff. You just simply curve it around with that color. Just curve the dark colors on the back and curve the brighter colors on the front. Now, I didn't get the chance to really show off the metallic sphere, so let me do that right quick. I'm just gonna grab that same background I used. Going to quickly make it a white color. Yeah, that space picture didn't go exactly to plan, but you know what? That's fine. So I'll just redo it a little bit differently. Let's go to size 50. Make it black. Go over here. I'm going to make it size 1500. Just going to pop it in there. Okay, so I'm going to select the whole thing. I'm going to make it dark purple. Do that with it. Okay. While the airbrush tool is selected in normal mode, I'm going to make the size of the brush 300. No. 100? Yeah, 100. Actually, no. Make it, yeah, let's make it about 500. Okay. Gonna go over here to our white. Just gonna kind of lightly tap this in. Just lightly tap it. Just lightly tap it. Gonna make it go down here a little bit. Okay. Gonna take our black now and we're gonna kind of fill up the rest of it. Darker it is, down here is where it goes. Okay, grab that same purple, just kind of go over it a little bit. Back to the white up here. Okay, so we've laid down some base color. Brighter at the top, darker at the bottom. I'm going to switch it to overlay. I'm going to go over this whole thing. Make sure there's a little bit of a color right there. Okay, just constantly go over this. Bring this on down right here. Okay, curl that color on over. Try to make it smooth. Yeah, it's not going to be entirely smooth enough, but it's fine. It'll work for what we're doing. Okay. Gonna grab the black. I'm gonna go over this again. Just like that. Okay, it's still not exactly what I'm looking for, so I'm gonna take out that overlay if I can. Gonna go back to normal with the white, and I'm actually gonna kind of try to round this out a little bit. Okay. Take the purple back. Just simply curl it around like this. Okay. Take that black out. Do the same thing. Overlay. Cover up that whole thing with... It's still black. I selected purple. Why didn't it go? Okay, there we go. So we have our purple all on there now. Select the white. Go over it. Just like that. There we go. Got a real nice shine to it. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of it down here. So continuing the color. Going down. Just keep that brighter color up top. And now, just to have a little bit of fun with it, keeping the opacity select tool selected, I'm gonna go over here to select, invert. Okay, now then anything I do, yeah, okay. While keeping that selected, I'm going to go to black with the airbrush and making sure it's on normal mode, and I'm just going to kind of do this a little bit with it. Just simple strokes left and right. Let's make it a little bigger. No, too white. There we go. Kind of get on over here. Gotta kind of be careful with that shading. Okay, there we go. I need to remember where I keep my name stuff. No, not right there. But yep, that's the general gist of it right there. Make it brighter at the top, darker at the bottom, and do those round strokes with it. It'll work wonders for you. It really will. I promise you. It'll work wonders for you if you do it right. Your point with doing this is to work with it, but also if you work with it and treat it right, it'll treat you right and it'll work with you the right way too. There we go. Done. It's a pretty interesting looking sphere. I've wanted to do something like this before where it's like there's just a sphere sitting on the ground. But now I've finally done it. Okay, export. I'm gonna set it in the same spot for now. Okay. Now I'm gonna do something very simple, and that's just the how to do a mountain type of deal. So I'm gonna go back to the same background that I use. There we go. It's a just generalized 2K background size. Okay. So we're going to make a mountain image out of this. So we're going to make sure the paint on the canvas is white. The most basic form of making a mountain is take your pencil tool, go to the brush, and go to this very thin one, which is a knife tool, and you'll be able to actually make what you need. Make it black or brown or just a really dark color. You just give it a general shape. Kind of fill it out and actually use that knife tool to come down and give it some shape. Just like that. So we have ourselves an extremely basic way of doing a mountain. So now we're going to go over here to our smudge tool. We're going to go with the larger, really flat one. And while the color is selected on the airbrush, we're actually going to add a little bit of white in here, just like this. I'm going to add a little bit of blue. Kind of add no, I don't have to add that blue there. I'm going to add a little bit of purple right here. Let me actually remove some of the blue down here, because it didn't need to go right there. Okay, add some of that purple in here. Go back to the bright blue and add it back in. Take the smudge tool and do this, and as you can see, it'll pull it down. See, very quickly I'm doing this, but it still works. Okay, so let me reverse this. Okay, there we go. We got our default mountain look. The way that this specific brush works is if you take this tool and you pull it to the left or right, it pulls the color in extremely far away. But if you go up or down with it, it makes these really interesting looking smudges to it. And when you pull it down and at an angle, it makes the edge of a mountain type of shape. Also, to add thickness, you can do something like this and then pull up, and as you can see, it adds in a different thickness type of layer to it. And if you can't really tell, if I do this just right and then do that, yeah, see, what it did was I pulled up one side, have about a quarter of the brush in this part of it, and I just go up. As you can see, it's really dark there in the middle, but it continues going. So here's how you do the mountain slope. We're going to bring it to the side. I'm going to bring that color out like this, and we're to see how it changes gradients. It goes really dark to really bright. We take that and we just pull it straight down. Gonna go down here with that, and we're gonna go up with it. I'm gonna pull this back down. Continue to, if you run out of color, go back up and continue dragging it down. Now I'm just gonna pull this down right here, make a cliff out of it. Go up, over, just like this, up, down, and over. You just kind of like gotta picture in your mind where these little ledges and stuff would be. Take that purple and bring it over here. Now I don't plan on doing too many of these 101 videos, so I hope what I'm showing will actually help you out a bit. Okay, so we're just going to continue pulling these colors down and everything. Okay, bring it over and then back down. Bring it up, over, up, and then down. And at any time you can go back and remove something that you did. Okay, I'm gonna move this up to kind of follow it. Then down with it. Okay, down. Back up. And then back down. When you go up with it in reverse, on the other side go down at a curve. And then back over. There we go. Just like that. All you have to do is just curve it. And the extra little notches in the color will give you the rest of your landscape. I always tell people, half of the stuff that they teach you in actual art, only half of it transfers over. The other half you have to kind of teach yourself. This is what I taught myself how to do. So there we go. It's all purple and blue and everything, but that's the basic gist of it. Pull, down, pull. Pull, down, pull. Very basic mountain shape. So, everyone, we're coming close to our first hour mark now. So, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. I hope you enjoyed this for what it was, and with that said, God bless you. I hope you're having a good morning, evening, afternoon, or night, and I'll talk to you guys and girls again next time. Bye, everybody. God bless.